Habits. If you go on Google and type in habit books, you are going to find a ton of results. Habits seem to be a thing that's a cornerstone of self-improvement and building a better life for yourself. And in today's video, I want to share 3 cornerstone habits that sober people have that you can start developing. And when I say sober people, I'm not talking about those people that are fighting it. I'm not talking about those people that are resisting alcohol and really being miserable about being a non-drinker. I'm talking about the people that are happy about their decision to not drink. The people that just say, nah, I don't want to drink, and they get on with their life. They're still sociable, they still have fun. I'm talking about this type of sober person. So if that is not you and you are always fighting stopping drinking, then these habits can change the game. If these habits are implemented effectively, you can start to gain full control of your drinking. And guys, just before we get into the video, if you do want my help stopping drinking and you want to go through the Sober Clear program using first principles thinking, then make sure to click the link in the description. There'll be a short video for you to watch, less than 10 minutes, that talks about the method and how we work with people. Then you'll be able to book a call to see if the Sober Clear program is something that may work for you. Now guys, just before we start talking about those 3 habits, I want to explain something. A lot of the time when I get on the calls with people that are interested in joining the program, I hear that they want to break the habit of drinking. They think they're in the habit of drinking every night. Now, if we think about what a habit actually is, a habit is something that's very easy to implement, it's very easy to change. So for example, if you go to France, so if you're from England, we drive on the left-hand side of the road. If you're from the States, you'll be on the right-hand side of the road. But if you go to another country and start driving on the opposite side of the road, right? So if you're in France, drive on the right-hand side of the road, your brain just automatically switches everything. It's not difficult, it's not hard, and all of a sudden, you just switch the habit. You were in the habit of driving on the left-hand side of the road, then boom, you're on the habit of the right-hand side of the road. It's not this difficult thing. And when people tell me that they want to break the habit of stopping drinking, they don't realize that there is no habit to drug addiction. Drinking alcohol is not a habit. It is purely drug addiction that is created through the feeling of this imperceptible craving, as well as all the conditioning and the idea that alcohol is a good thing. But like I said, the point of this video is not to use first principles thinking and start breaking down these beliefs, but it's to talk about habits that sober people have. And a lot of these habits are to do with mindset, because it's a habit of thought. So, the first habit that happy non-drinkers have is they ignore society's belief around alcohol. If we think about society, if we think about the way society view alcohol, they view it as a good thing. What I mean by this is that we've basically been conditioned to view alcohol as this great thing that's going to provide so much to us. So if we think about the way that it's portrayed in the movies, the way that the characters use alcohol to enhance their life, if we look at the marketing, there's this idea that people buy into that alcohol is somehow an enhancer. It's something that is going to just do so much good for you. And if we buy into it, if we buy into how whiskey drinkers are sophisticated and wine drinkers are posh and beer drinking is for the lads, if we buy into this idea, then we also start to see alcohol as a good thing. But what the happy non-drinker does is they completely ignore this idea. They ignore the idea that alcohol is a good thing. They ignore the common sense or the general population's idea of alcohol somehow doing something good for them. And if I'm honest with you guys, this is one of the cornerstone mindset shifts that just changed the game. Because I used to buy into the idea that alcohol was a good thing. In fact, for 10 years, I always thought that it was a good thing. Every time that I tried to stop drinking it, I was fighting, I was battling. It was me against the world, because I had the idea that it was a hard thing to give up, because that's what I've been told. If all my friends are drinking it and having a good time, it's the alcohol that's causing the good time. I bought into this. But the happy non-drinker, they completely ignore society's view around alcohol. They understand it. And that's why I always talk about using first principles thinking, because first principles thinking is all about dismantling common sense. It's all about dismantling what most people think of as the 100% truth. That's what first principles thinking is all about. So the happy non-drinker has applied this mental model to build this paradigm where they see alcohol for what it is, and it means that they don't need to listen to normal people, normal drinkers, all of these people. Now, the second cornerstone habit that happy non-drinkers have is that they use thoughts of alcohol in a completely different way to the normal person. So most people get a thought about drinking and they start to feel like, I just wish I could have a drink. They get to think of drinking and they think, and then it develops into this craving, and then they can't sit down and they're agitated and they feel a bit, they just can't relax. And this is what most people do. When they think of alcohol, it develops into this feeling of agitation, and then the only way that they can relax again is through removing the craving and drinking alcohol. Now, what the happy non-drinker does is they use cravings in a totally different way. What happens is the thought of alcohol comes into their head. They pause and they remind themselves that they're free. They remind themselves that it's done. It's a done deal. They've already finished this. This is already behind them. And that thought of alcohol can basically go into that person's head and they use it for pleasure. They use thinking of drinking it as a reminder to know that it's done. It's finished. Whereas most people get a thought of alcohol and it develops into this craving and they start to feel deprived. They start to feel like they're missing out. And at the end of the day, they're just not happy with their decision. So this thought just goes downwards and you just end up feeling like crap. Whereas the happy non-drinker doesn't do that. The thought comes in and it's like, I'm thinking about alcohol and I don't need to drink it. What a freaking great day. And basically, the thoughts that come in, you're using them in a different way. You're actually using them to solidify your decision to be a non-drinker and make you feel good about that. Nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody's going to tell you what to do with these thoughts because nobody knows what to do with them. Most people think of alcohol and they go and drink. But when you become a happy non-drinker, there's a different way to do things. You get the thought of alcohol and you get happy. You get pumped. I'm thinking about alcohol. I don't need to drink it anymore. It's done. I'm finished. I'm moving on. And that is a game-changing way to look at things. You will think about drinking. It's totally normal. But it's what you do with that thought. You can think about drinking and you can start to feel like, damn, I'm really missing out. Like, I just wish I could have a few. Guess where that goes? That does not end up in a happy place. If you can use those thoughts to feel like, let's do this, let's move forward, I'm happy, I'm not drinking, it's night and day. The difference is night and day. Now, the third key habit is this building of a better life. And essentially, it's choosing to move forwards instead of staying still. Instead of stopping drinking and just lazing around and not making any changes in your life, it's deciding to stop drinking and move forward. It's to build this vision, it's to build this better life for yourself. Now, I tried to stop drinking before and make no personal changes. Even when I used willpower, I stopped drinking and made personal changes, and it helped a ton. I hadn't done the reframing, so I still kind of saw alcohol as a good thing, but I was still building a business, doing personal training, get back in the gym, all that good stuff, and it helped a ton. But there was a weak link in the chain where one day I did drink. But the point of the matter is that building a better life, moving forward, focusing on yourself and your personal life and your business and whatever, it's just a game changer. Because a lot of people stop drinking and they don't make any changes. They just sit around, they watch Netflix, they don't do anything differently. But if you're busy moving forward, if you're busy building things and doing good things for yourself, then the desire to drink gets less and less and less because you personally are going up and up and up. And that's what I always say. Stopping drinking shouldn't just be about stopping drinking. It should be about A, first principles thinking and stopping drinking, and B, building a better life for yourself. Because that's like the solidifier is when you bring the two together, the difference is incredible. And guys, if you do want my help going through first principles thinking and you want the coaching program where we build a better life together, then make sure to click the link in the description, watch that short video where I talk about the Sober Clear method. And if you click the videos on the screen now, you can learn more about the reframing technique as well as the one thing that got me to stop drinking forever. Thanks.